I've been punished for my hubris. Last week when I said we would never have audio issues again, I didn't know what I meant was that we would never have the mic cutting out issues again, because now we're going to have different audio issues. So for some reason in this episode, the entire time, Mom's mic is super echoey and my mic is a little echoey. You know what? It's on purpose to imitate the whinnying of a beautiful horse. It's on purpose, it's on theme, and it makes the episode better, frankly. As always, the Monkees pod is not a children's show from the 60s the way that the Monkees is. It is, in fact, a show with some adult content. Enjoy the episode. Hi, welcome back to the Monkees pod, a Monkees recap podcast. My name is Sommer.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Molly.
Today, we're going to be covering the beautiful, beautiful season 1 episode, Don't Look a Gift Horse in the Mouth, aka the horse episode, which is the only thing that I refer to it as. And I have a surprise for you guys this week. Today, we're not on the Monkees pod. We are on the Mr. Ed's pod, because this is about to become an episode of a Mr. Ed podcast, because I got way too into the weeds researching Mr. Ed. Because I was like, what possible historical background premise could we have for this? And I came up with 2 things, which was, number 1, the disastrous production of Dr. Dolittle 1967, which we can get into a little first. And then number 2 is the television program Mr. Ed, which has one of the most incredible Wikipedia pages I've ever found. And we're going to be reading many beautiful excerpts, can't say that word, from it. Animals in Hollywood in the 1960s were not really treated well. We can see this in such television programs as the Monkees. There's this picture of Mike with what I assumed was like the taxidermy chimp from the set, and he's like holding the chimp, and it has like a cigarette in its hand, and it's like wearing a sweater, and it's like these like funny pictures of like Mike smoking with the chimp. It turns out that those pictures are of him with a real alive chimp they put a cigarette in its hand, and I'm just like, girl. He was like a chimp actor.
Well, there were a lot of chimp actors in the 60s, 70s, even through the 80s.
And chimp astronauts. So
yeah.
Okay.
Didn't Reagan act with a chimp?
Yes, he did.
Can you explain that?
Not really, but
there's no explanation.
No.
Bedtime for Bonzo was the chimp, and that's all I know about it. I never saw it or anything.
You just know that the former president acted with a chimp.
Yes.
Yeah, so animal actors were not treated well in Hollywood at the time, and the prime example of that is the production of Dr. Dolittle 1967, which was a massive flop and basically ended the Hollywood roadshow musical production system of the time. Because it was such a financial disaster for a number of reasons, including that when they flew all the animals over to England for the shoot, realized that they would need to quarantine them for months, and then had to just fly them back to LA and train a whole different set of animals in England. They didn't look up these restrictions before flying a bunch of animals? Before training all of them, first of all. Before training them to do such things as they had to train a chimp to cook bacon, and then they had to train the 2 understudy chimps to also cook bacon. Had to. No one was making them. And the most notable and beautiful story from the set of Dr. Dolittle is the time that they had to shut down production because the giraffe stepped on his own penis.
I don't even want to know.
So many questions. So that was one example. But this episode of the Monkees doesn't just feature any animal actors. It features very specifically a horse. And you know what else? What other television weekly program of the 60s featured a horse? Was Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed.
So now we're just going to look at some pictures of Mr. Ed together. This is a tweet I saw. It says, "A single image of Mr. Ed is more powerful than entire seasons of television made today." And then somebody replied, "Kids were watching this shit while their dad sat in the dad chair having his nightly flashbacks to the horrors of the Pacific." So here we have, he's on a boat. He's got a telescope. He's squinting his eye through the telescope. Here we have Mr. Ed surfing the waves on a surfboard. He appears to not be standing on the surfboard. He's kind of just standing on the water like Jesus. Here we have Mr. Ed looking at himself in the mirror with a Playhorse calendar.
Okay.
I don't want to know who manufactured that. And here we have Mr. Ed writing, "I am not a bad horse." He's writing out lines as a punishment. He looks, I'm not sure. He kind of looks like a bad horse.
I'm so sorry for this horse.
Okay. So I was vaguely aware of the premise of Mr. Ed in that, like, there was a horse there.
He's a talking horse.
He's a talking horse.
His friend's name is Wilbur.
Wilbur. Okay.
And that's all I remember about it.
Well, let me read you this.
Wilbur.
Many of the program's gags follow from Mr. Ed's tendency to talk only to Wilbur, his mysteriously well-cultured essence, his rapscallion tendencies, and his precociously human-like behavior that far exceeds anything those around Wilbur expect of a horse.
Okay.
Before the theme song begins, the sound of Mr. Ed whinnying is heard. Before Mr. Ed's human voice is heard saying, "Hello, I'm Mr. Ed." The theme starts out with the famous lyrics, "A horse is a horse, of course, of course."
And no one can talk. Well, horse, of course, unless, of course, the horse is something the famous Mr. Ed.
Okay. So he's a talking horse.
He's a talking horse, and he's Wilbur's friend.
Yeah. The theme song received renewed publicity 20 years after the show went off the air, when Jim Brown, a preacher from South Point, Ohio, claimed in May 1986 that it contained satanic messages and heard in reverse. Brown and his colleague Greg Hudson claimed that the phrases, "someone sung this song for Satan" and "the source is Satan" would be audible. At their behest, teenagers burned over 300 records and cassettes of secular music with alleged satanic messages.
She said, or the fucking Mr. Ed play. Like, please.
Satanic Panic really fried people's brains. Because, okay, Sgt. Pepper's Backwards has messages. Sure, they're kind of a weird countercultural band.
Yeah.
Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed, yeah.
Mr.
This
Ed,
horse had ulterior motives.
he's a tool of Satan, truly. I think he might have been, because now we're going to do a segment that I call the top 5 Mr. Ed episode summaries from the Wikipedia article. I had to cull this down severely. There were like 30 in contention here. These are just the 5.
I really love how deep into this you went.
Well, you're gonna know when you hear these summaries that I had to tell you them.
Of course.
Number 5. When a park attendant laughs at Ed for wearing glasses, he demands to be taken to Dr. Fosdick Sr., the optometrist, so he can be examined for contact lenses.
Okay.
Number 4. Kirkwood, don't know who that is, feeling old, tries to find a small business to invest in. Ed, also feeling old, creates a juice that is so invigorating and tasty that Wilbur wants to mass produce and market it. However, Ed refuses to disclose the secret formula.
Wait, does he create the juice because he's feeling old?
Yes.
Okay.
One of these that I had to cut explains that Ed has a phone in his barn that he uses regularly, and then Wilbur takes the phone away and he gets mad. So that's how he's doing these things, presumably, is pretending to be human on the phone. Okay. Number 3. Carol and Kay want to go to the movies, but Ed wants to go for a midnight ride. Ed hypnotizes Wilbur so he can't go to the movies.
Wait, this horse has hypnotism powers?
This is the only episode in which that isn't featured. The wives feel that their husbands are taking them for granted, so they both get jobs. This leaves Wilbur and Roger at home to fend for themselves after Mr. Ed hypnotized them to not go to the movie. Okay. Number 2. In order to appease Mr. Mencken, a new potential client, Wilbur takes an office downtown. Ed now feels unwanted and attempts to become the first horse astronaut into space.
Horse astronaut?
Ed goes to the Space Center and passes the intelligence test. The day of the flight, Wilbur rushes to the Space Center, but the rocket is just taking off. Mr. Ed shows up and tells Wilbur they picked another horse at the last minute because Ed was too heavy. This episode was called the Horse-tronaut.
That's incredible.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. And the number 1 episode summary of Mr. Ed was, number 1. Gordon buys a new car, and he won't let Winnie drive it. Ed never knew he slept standing up until Wilbur told him. Now that he knows his feet hurt and he wants Wilbur to buy him a car. Ed rents the truck.
Wait.
And proceeds to drive it around town. Gordon lets Winnie drive the new car. She wrecks the car, claiming to see a horse driving.
Wait. Because he sleeps standing up and his his feet hurt, therefore he needs
wants
a car.
His feet didn't hurt until he knew that he's left standing up.
And he didn't realize that
I
he stopped
remember
standing.
I remember him using the telephone,
Mhm.
but I don't ever remember watching him drive a truck.
Well,
He
it was
did
really
many
a short-lived
things.
experience for him.
Yeah. So that's what they were having the horses do on TV regularly.
Poor
So now perhaps it makes a little more sense why the Monkees had a horse inside of their house, if Mr. Ed was doing such. All right.
No.
Back to the TV show that this podcast is about. The director of this episode is Bob Rafelson himself. The writer is Dave Evans. And the guest stars include Mr. Babbitt the landlord once again, and Highland Dale as the horse.
The horse
Okay.
Jeremy.
The horse Jeremy.
Yeah.
He was
Has a name.
uncredited, but we have to credit him.
Oh.
I was too lazy to find the source for this in my research, but I did hear one time that this was the episode after the pilot that they filmed first.
Okay.
So first day on set, they're dragging the horse in there. And it aired on Halloween night 1966. Girl, I'm spooked.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm spooked.
The episode begins. Right off the bat, naked British twink doing flips in a red Speedo on the dunes.
By himself,
By himself.
just out there.
What the children want, what the children need.
Yes.
A child in a hoodie with a horse comes up to Davy. He says, "Hey, mister, you live around here?" Davy's like, "Yeah, I live in that house." And then he points up to the pad exterior, where you can see that it's like up on a cliff up some like wooden rickety stairs.
Yeah.
And then the little kid's like, "Can you watch my horse?" And Davy like smiles beautifully and he's like, "Of course, child I just met. I would never let anything happen to your horse that I also just met." And then the child runs off,
It's like, wait,
leaving Davy.
when will you be coming back for your horse?
Yeah, and the child doesn't answer. He just runs away. Let's reflect on the premise of this episode for a second. You know, when you're a kid, you want to get rid of your horse, so you just give it away
To a man.
to a man who is doing flips by himself on the beach.
On the beach.
But scheming him by not telling him that you will be letting him watch the horse permanently.
Forever. Yeah. So back in the pad, Peter has cooked soup for everyone. Thank you, Peter. It is.
But nobody likes this.
Nobody's.
It's repulsive.
No,
He says it is cream of root beer soup, which is why it's gross, probably.
Was that the first thing he cooked, or he cooked something?
No,
first
that's what
and
he
it was just soup? Okay.
No, he cooked cream of root beer soup.
Okay, nobody liked it.
On purpose. Mike said, "Peter, you've reached a new low."
Well, that's what I'm saying. The poor guy, they make him cook, and
They force him to
nobody
cook and they
liked
don't even like it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's rude.
yeah, like
Rude.
it is. So Micky pretends that the soup is so bad that it's making him into a werebeast of some sorts, and he bites Mike on the hand because Dylan Smith is real, and he threatens their taxidermy bird, which blinks back because much like Mr. Schneider and presumably the stuffed monkeys, it is alive.
Yes.
It was very scary.
Yeah, it gave Haunted Mansion. Then Micky starts climbing the spiral staircase backwards. Micky is always climbing on shit like some kind of monkey, like some kind
You
of,
could even say.
like
You might even
one
say.
might say.
Like a monkey.
I feel like perhaps he did that in his audition tape, and they were like,
Like, oh, that's real clever.
yeah, it gets a little spooky because he's constantly doing it on everything, including in season 2 when they go to Paris. Him and Peter are like hanging off the Eiffel Tower.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem safe
Or legal.
or legal, and I don't believe that they encouraged the monkeys to climb all over the set, but he did it. So they cast that boy and they put that spiral staircase prominently in the middle of the main set. They knew what they were doing. So Mr. Babbitt, the landlord, comes to their door and he's like, "I heard that barking just now. Where's your dog? No pets." And Micky's like, "Oh no, that was my werewolf impression." "Yeah, you know how sometimes you're a werewolf." Like he says, "Yeah, you know how sometimes you're a werewolf."
Truly, all of this, I said, Micky is so strange and annoying that the landlord thinks it was a dog, and only the monkeys would say, "No, I was pretending to be a werewolf," and it'd be the truth, and like not some excuse.
Yeah, that's just what they're doing. So Davy comes into the house with the horse. He brought the horse up the back stairs.
That was my point. I'm like, how did he get this horse upstairs? Because he's like, up there, you live up
We
there.
live up there, and they do the shot.
Cliff.
They like establishing shot that it is like not
It's
the
a
horse
cliff.
Not
upstairs.
very accessible.
Yeah, I don't know. The horse is in their house now, but the horse all the way in their house. Mike's like, "Take that horse back." Micky shows Davy his werewolf impression, and then the landlord comes back because of the damn dog again. And Mike's like, Peter, Davy, go hide in the bedroom. Don't hide the horse though." And Davy's like, he knows we live here. Why are we hiding instead of the horse? And Mike's like, no, I have a plan. So the landlord has a full conversation with Mike before noticing the horse.
And then he says that's them in a costume.
Yeah. He says, this horse, that's not a horse. That's Davy and Peetah in their horse costume.
They're going to a masquerade.
And he buys that
He
because
completely believes it.
because he, much like the Monkees, is stupid. I also wrote, Mike looks like baby Tom Hanks sometimes, just from some angles. I've noticed it.
I kind of see it.
So then the landlord leaves. Micky and Mike manhandle this poor fucking horse actor, trying to like drag him out. And I'm sure he was a Mr. Ed style trained professional. But like they're giving these boys with no horse experience this like horse indoors under hot lights and being like, have fun, handle it. I'm sure they didn't have like an animal trainer on set, or like if they did, they weren't doing much.
Okay, off topic. Their mailbox is a boot.
I wrote that down too. It's very funny and very cute.
Wow. The combined strength of the three largest monkeys is still less than one horse. So Mike says to the little monkey, we still got the horse costume. Let's try that. And Davy's like, oh, of course. I'll go get the horse costume.
What was the plan? Like, try it to do what?
We're going to try, I don't know. They're bringing...
We'll try wearing a costume.
Yeah. So then they try to move the horse with food, and Mike asks it if it wants a hamburger. And then Peetah tries to feed it a salami. And Micky says, horses don't eat salami. Of course. So then Mike goes, oh, well, we could give it some soup. Because the horses eat soup.
As well.
Yeah. So then Mike feeds it Peter's terrible soup, and it passes out.
Yes. I thought it died.
I wrote, OMG, Peter's soup killed the horse.
Peter's soup is so bad that it killed a horse. So the way that they make the horse pass out is that they punch into like a closer frame of like one of the monkeys, and it like the frame like shakes, and then when it cuts back, the horse is laying on the floor.
So isn't laying down bad for horses? Like that's why they sleep standing up.
They do lay down. I don't know that they lay down like that.
That way, it's fully on its side. I mean,
yeah,
that's
it
not
does
natural.
It
that
looks
can't
pretty
be
dead.
good for it.
I don't think that's good for it.
Yeah. The concept of the monkeys and everyone on set waiting around between those shots for the horse trainer to make the horse lie down. I mean,
I was just like afraid of like the logistics of them making it lie down. Like I think that goes in the list of things you shouldn't do to a horse.
Yeah. Also, when I was doing my research on Dr. Dolittle, they kept talking about how bad it smelled on set and how they had to make the floor like on an angle so that they could to hose the poop off of it easier.
Right.
So that's also a concern to think about here. So for their sick horse, Mike calls the vet. The vet has a giant magnifying glass.
Yes. His name is Dr. Man.
Because he has animals.
Because he's a man.
Yeah, he's a man with animals. So then Mike goes to his office. He's like, I'm a monkey and I have a sick horse. He's like, you're in the wrong doctor's office. You need a psychiatrist if you think you're a monkey, boy. There's a poster in the background of the vet's office that says Dunphy the Wonder Dog.
I was wondering about that.
Do you know
No,
Dunphy?
I don't know Dunphy. I wonder if
This
he
is
was
an in-universe Wonder Dog character.
You know when you go to the vet and he has pictures of famous dogs?
well, maybe he's a famous animal.
Maybe he was one of his famous clients.
Yes.
And his credibility.
Oh, is he like a Hollywood animal doctor? Is that why they're calling him for their stunt horse? Perhaps. So then the vet like comes to the pad. He looks at Peetah and Davy in the horse costume, which they're just standing in the middle of the room in this horse costume.
They never had to put it on. Like my question remains. There was kind of no reason for that.
Why did they have it in the first place? Also, like the concept of like a two-person horse costume is another one of those things, much as many things exist in the monkey universe, that kind of is only in like cartoons from the 50s and that I don't think anyone has ever done in real life.
They still use that joke, but nobody, I've never seen in real life somebody in a
No, because it would be terrible for the back person, and because it would be the pain in the ass to walk around.
Yeah.
And like it looks bad. Like his costume looks like shit.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
The only two-person horse costume that works is in Hello Dolly on Broadway, when the horse with the human legs like flicks its leg back. That's a good fake horse. But the monkey's horse costume is not. It doesn't look alive or like a real horse or anything. But everyone in this episode proceeds to be fooled by it. So yeah, the vet's looking at Peetah and Davy in this and goes, "Your horse is sick." There's a knock at the door. They're like, oh, shit. It's our landlord. He's back. We have to hide the vet or else he'll be like, why is there a vet here? Inspecting Davy and Peter in the horse costume. And then we'll have to explain that there's a real horse. So they tell the vet that there's a sick owl in the closet and shut him in there. Micky like goes upstairs. He yells down to Mike. He's like, if it gets bad with Babbitt, just yell down. I'll throw my smoke bomb, which I have. So it's not the landlord. Their old lady neighbor comes over to give them a cake, which is very kind because the monkeys can't feed themselves. She sees the horse and passes out.
No,
the horse is back awake. By the way.
The horse eats her.
The horse eats her cake?
Eats the cake and she passes out.
Oh. Well, the horse, okay, it was fine that the horse was there, but if he ate her cake, that's terrible. Micky throws the smoke bomb over the balcony anyway. It's just a mess. This episode is a mess. So Davy brings the horse back to the beach and finds the kid. And I wrote, yeah, boss, here's Davy here's Davy's talking to a child on the beach outfit, real fucking sexy, just like you asked.
That was what I wrote. I'm like, why is he always like shirtless on the beach with children?
No, yeah, he's like,
He must be shirtless on the beach. I mean, yes, he's on the beach.
but he's wearing jeans in this scene.
Yeah.
Jeans, shirtless, and he's like leaning back sexy. He's
Like
he's
in the first
leaning back in the
episode when
sand.
he's shirtless but with a jacket.
Yeah, but in that episode, he's like checking out a girl.
That's true.
In this episode, he's talking to a child. It's
Wow.
And the
it's
child
inappropriate.
is in like a hoodie and jeans.
Yeah, that child's hoodie reminds me of that picture of like baby Robert De Niro in the 1940s where he's wearing a graphic tee and he looks like he plays Minecraft in 2010.
That's exactly what this kid looks like.
Yeah.
This is a modern
Like
child.
I know they had hoodies back then, but you don't expect to see it. The child is like, Mr. Jeremy is your horse now.
Name reveal for the horse.
The horse is named Jeremy, which is a reference to Jeremy Hillary Boob. No, it's not. It could be. It could be. That's
Was
the
Yellow Submarine already out at this point?
no.
Okay.
It was they predicted it.
What is it?
Yeah, Hillary Jeremy Boob, which is the name of
Maybe
the
Jeremy
Nowhere
Hillary
Man.
Boob was named after the horse.
Yeah, he's the name of the Nowhere Man from the Yellow Submarine movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's like, Jeremy's your horse now. My dad's gonna sell him unless you talk to him. And Davy's like, oh, why would he listen to me? And he's like, you talk good, because he's British.
You talk good, but you might want to put a shirt
You
on.
might want to put a shirt on before they come to you right now. Sir, your son found me at the beach. Tommy, who's this man? Tommy, who is this? He starts like doing the dance. He's like, oh! So then the monkeys all go to the farm to talk to the kid's dad. And they offer to pay him the cost that it would take to keep the horse on the farm. He's like, oh, that's going to be $100. And the monkeys don't have $100. But Mike's like, what if we work on the farm for a week? That should be around $100. That's $992 today. In what world is 4 man hour weeks of farm labor cost under $1,000?
Well, I don't know.
They could get a job and make $1,000 in less time.
You're saying that they wouldn't be paid that much?
No,
or
I'm saying
they pay
that's
much more?
a really low rate.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I don't know what farm hands make.
I looked it up.
Probably not a lot.
I looked it up, like minimum wage thereabouts, but like divided among 4 people, this is like way less than minimum
Okay,
wage.
yeah.
I guess it's just the ongoing theme of the monkeys knowing nothing about money.
Yeah, or maybe they're
Or
underselling
how to do
themselves.
anything.
Yeah, or like how to live, how to budget.
Pretty much.
They're just like me. So the farmer wakes them up in the morning on their first day of farm work, on their hay bales, in their farmer
They're
outfits.
sleeping in his barn.
They're sleeping in his barn. They have farmer outfits that they got somewhere.
My favorite part of the farmer outfit is Mike is wearing a pair of jeans underneath his overalls.
Wait, that's
You can see up the like leg of his overall, and I'm like, he's just wearing jeans. Like he was wearing something, and they're like, no, put these overalls on.
You don't have time to take the jeans off. Just put on the overalls.
God.
Sure.
You're used to this Texas boy.
Also, one of them brought their guitar. It's also sitting on the hay bales
Yeah.
in the barn.
The farmer wakes them up with the triangle thing.
I said the triangle is back.
Yeah, the triangle, the thing that the
'Cause they
Peter
have to
used.
use the props.
Yeah, last episode. It's actually a different one because this
It
one's
is.
smaller.
It is a different one, but
I think the first one was attached to the Ghost Town set. The farmer like tells them a bunch of farm chores they have to do, and they're like half asleep. He's like, "You gotta milk the cow, feed the chickens, plow the field." And then Mike very unfortunately says, "We gotta go plow the cow." Think before you speak.
Hey.
You do not. and in the background of the scene, they play the Monkees like generic hillbilly backing track. They have a couple of like instrumental soundtrack stock sounds, like the way that
generic farm music.
Yeah, the way SpongeBob did. It had
Yeah.
like a couple songs for different scenarios. But most of the Monkees stock instrumental soundtracks are like meant to convey some sort of racial stereotype.
Mhm.
You know, they have like that. They have like the generic Chinese
Right.
music. They have the generic Italian music.
The desert music.
The desert music. They have the hillbilly music. So they're just kind of offensive backing tracks. They're like moving hay around with pitchforks, and they lose Peter in the pile, so they just start
Stabbing the pile. I'm like, you're going to stab him. That's how they were looking for him.
Peter is stab resistant.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Came out from a nap.
Yeah. Also, they don't care about his well-being. So then Micky calls for the hogs, and he does it so loud that their landlord back at their house in LA comes to their door and is like, "What pet is in there now?" And that was really funny. I thought that was a really good joke. But Micky's not good at summoning the hogs. He only summons the chickens, which the Monkees then proceed to throw around like they're not alive. And I'm like, guys.
Yeah, that was pretty, like,
no,
These chicken actors also have to talk to their union.
Yeah, you can't treat live animals like that. Like, they're only chickens. So then the farmer says, "Milk the cow." And Micky's like, "Wow, we are far out in the country. The milkman doesn't even deliver here." Wah, wah.
Uh-huh.
The concept of the milkman. Did households go through so much milk that you needed it delivered every day?
some
Is that
did.
why?
Some did.
Like,
I mean, we got it like once a week. You know,
Okay.
it would come on different days.
mhm.
I don't think everybody,
Could
most
you-
people got them every day.
Could you not buy milk at the store? Was it not available?
I'm
That's a
guessing
good question. Why have a milkman instead of...
because the milkman, we used to always get the milk from the milk because they didn't used to sell it at the store when
That's-
there was milkman.
Why?
Maybe because it's kind of a delicate
Yeah, 'cause it
product
was-
that can go bad easily.
Yeah.
And he had it in
Storage.
milk bottles, right?
Yeah, you had bottles, yeah. I mean, we had a milk box and.
Like a mailbox for milk?
Yeah. I don't really remember. I mean, maybe it was delivered when I was a baby. We still got it.
So do you think the Monkees got their milk delivered in their shoe mailbox?
They put the milk in the shoe. We never see a milkman in the Monkees, I think, or if we do, it went by so fast that I don't remember it. But we should, because I need to know dramaturgically how the Monkees get their milk. So then 15 minutes into the episode, we get the first song, and it's Papa Jean's Blues again.
I had been waiting for a song, and then we got Papa Jeaned, and yes, I like the song, but it's approaching Clarksville territory.
Yeah.
So
It's Mike wrote it when he was like 19 on a guitar that he didn't know how to play. It's good, but like it's one of the like lower rung Mike songs for me, and it gets real tiring. The music video is mostly them throwing a bucket at each other,
Yeah.
except for when it stops dead for like a minute in the middle for Matador Mike.
we finally see the origin
of
Matador
Matador
Mike.
Mike.
Seeing
He gets to
in the
change
song.
his hat and wear
Yeah.
a different hat.
He has a different
exciting.
hat. He looks so happy. Never do they show him like in the same shot as like the cow or the bull or whatever. They did not let him get close to that animal when it was charging. And he sticks his tongue out at the cow.
Was that a real cow or was that footage?
I think that they were like cutting back and forth between
there
both.
was a real cow on like the farm where they were filming that stuff, and then they cut to like
A
a
bull.
matador, like
Yeah.
a bull in a
Okay.
stadium or whatever you would say.
I have a tangent about Matador Mike.
Please.
There is a terrible short film from the 90s, which I sent to the She Said She Should group chat. And it's called like Daydream Believer, something generic like that, some generic monkey's name.
Oh, I remember.
And
this.
it's like it's called a short film. It is on IMDb as a film. What it is kind of like a shot on video
Yeah, like,
fan
it looks like
fiction.
they made it for like YouTube.
Yeah, that like some woman made in the 90s, and it is about a 12-year-old girl who is in love with Mike Nesmith and like daydreams about dating him, and then gets sad when she finds out that he's married. And that is it. And the like the way they chose to go about it was by like having some like gross middle-aged man who looks nothing like Mike play Mike as a joke. And it's very they stole She Said's thunder before I was born and could write it
years earlier.
Yeah, but they're the pivotal scene in this film that I would say is very she said is it's like the little girl, she's in her room at night. There's the teen magazines are all over the floor, and she's reading this like anatomy textbook, and she gets to the page of human genitals, looks at the penis picture, looks up, thinks about Matador Mike. It plays this like generic sounding like Spanish trumpet thing. She like nods and smiles.
Like, that's so
Girl!
She said. That's,
Yeah.
like,
Who hasn't done
we've
that?
never had an original experience.
Yeah. But that is the only thing I think of when I see Matador Mike, unfortunately. So at the end of the song, they spill the milk bucket on the farmer, and he fires them. So sad. They cannot pay for the horse. So then another spooky cowboy who we have never seen.
Some random
man. There's like one shot of him earlier where he comes up to the dad on the farm and he's like, "Look at those city slickers," but we don't know who he is. We don't know what his beef is. We don't know why he's there. He comes up to them and he's like, "That's a garbage horse. That horse ain't shit. I bet you $100 right now against your guitar that you can't win against me in a horse race because the Monkees do not have money."
Why? Why is this man betting?
I kind of feel like maybe he like it almost seems like narratively it's going to be like he's actually on their side and just wants to give them $100, but that's not what happens. He is evil and he does want their money.
He does try to, but I just want to point out that Davy finally becomes a jockey.
Yeah,
I was so excited. Finally, Jockey Davy has his day. It's
Jockey Davy, yeah, because the child has begged him to do this, and they all just agree to put like their livelihood on the line for this child and his horse who they just met. Because if they don't have that guitar, they can't make money.
I theorize that this episode was written simply so they could use Davy as a jockey and also save money on a horse stuntman.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, they do kind of write episodes around their like different talents and personalities. For some reason, the like jockey outfit that Davy wears is like lame.
It's so goofy.
Yeah.
Well, they are shiny.
Are they?
Well,
I've never watched a horse race.
I think they are like silk,
Oh, okay.
like silky.
But his looks like a cheap Halloween costume.
Well, it is a cheap Halloween.
Yeah.
It also kind of looks too big on him, which is adorable.
Yeah. The hat is weird. It has like a bow on it.
So they were doing to start. Well, they were all blowing on the bugle
Yeah.
to get the whatever
Yeah.
the sound.
They all
is.
just kept passing out because they couldn't blow it.
They kept passing out, but they give it to the little kid, and he passes out, and he does a free fall backwards, and he smacks his head. And I'm like, they do not treat children well on this.
No,
of course not.
Animals and children. But before the song, though, they do like a little bit where Davy has sand in his boot, and the way they decide to fix this is to push him down to the floor. Mike like grips on his face. Peter pulls his boot off while Davy like braces his other foot directly on Peter's ass, which then causes Peter to do a flip. They're always having each other manhandle each other, like
As they must.
as they must, I do suppose. And then they play All the King's Horses again. Get it?
Yeah,
Because there's horses.
because there's horses.
Horses. You know, Davy was geeked to get on the horse. You can see when they're racing, he's in like proper jockey form, and he's like hovering over the horse, like he's like scrunched up.
He was born to be a jockey.
And the other guy's just sitting normal. Like you can see that Davy is the superior horseman.
And they have the video, and
There's no clear finish line to the race, but the Monkees all and the child all start celebrating at some point. So they've decided that
That was
has won an arbitrary victory. So then Davy gets off the horse. Peter helps him get down off the horse and proceeds to like grope at his chest and stomach for the next 10 seconds because Tork is real. Because they were besties, by which is what I mean by Tork is real, but also because Peter had a crush on him.
Tork could
Because
be real.
Tork should have been real. They're talking to the kid's dad again. He has better teeth than half the Monkees, the old grizzled cowboy actor. So then we're on the beach again, chilling with the Monkees. They're playing with balls and sandcastles, as they do. Grown men on the beach. Davy is the only naked one, as he do. Peter has a vest though, and you can see his arms. Peter has really good arms. Yes. A different child comes up to them, and he's like, "Can you watch my camel?" And they all run away.
They continue to get their money's worth with this camel.
Imagine you're the parent of that child actor, and you pull up to the set, and the director's like, "Yeah, today your kid's gonna be like holding the lead on this giant fucking camel." Oh yeah, no, it's okay. If the camel gets loose, you got these like 4 skinny boys. They'll
I'll
help.
stop it.
Yeah.
We'll let the horse get it.
Yeah. And it ends with a little bit of the Papa Jeans Blues
More Papa G.
purple room eyeliner footage. And Mike winks at the camera. Why am I a 5th grader named Susan from 1966? Why am I literally that girl from the short film?
Quite literally Susan, the prophecy.
Yeah. All right. Anybody got anything we missed?
No, I got the concert footage of the boys singing. Are they? Yeah.
That's the purple room footage.
Yeah,
Void.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
it. And I got camel. I didn't know what camel meant, but now I do.
Yeah. The camel meant that camel was there.
Yes.
Yeah. Camel cigarettes were appropriate for children at the time. Camel handling was appropriate for children at the time. All right. Camel out.
Camel. And Mr. Ed.
And Mr. Ed also out. And the other horse is also out, presumably, since he died.
Jeremy is out.
Jeremy is out.
Post soup.
R.I.P. all of the animals that worked on Dr. Dolittle in 1967. Monkey out.
Hello, everybody. You might notice that the episode is not over, even though it's just me talking to you again. So this week we ran a little short, somewhat like the Monkees, actually. So I thought I would try something new, which I thought I would bust out if we ever had an episode run under 40 minutes, because arbitrarily I decided that all the episodes have to be a certain length. I don't know. It's a podcast. They don't. But it would bother me. It would bother me if one of them was like way shorter than the others. So, I'm presenting you with my very own 1-minute short segment for the Monkees pod. And this week, I decided to watch the Horse-Turnaut episode of Mr. Ed and provide my thoughts on it. Because I needed to know what is this? What is this program? It turns out it's a good thing that this is the Monkees pod and not the Mr. Ed's pod, because just reading the summaries was far more entertaining than watching the show. All the good stuff was in the summaries, but I did still have a couple of thoughts on it to share with everyone. First of all, I do not like how Mr. Ed's mouth moves. Like, okay, when the horse is not speaking with human voice, it's pretty cute, especially when they like make it do tricks and tasks. Like, I love to watch the horse use the phone. I love to watch the horse close his own doors. Amazing. I don't love to watch the horse cry, which they also made it do, and I really don't like to watch the horse talk because his mouth doesn't open like all the way when he talks. It just kind of like flaps his lips over his closed teeth. I don't like it. I read when I was doing my research that the rumor that Mr. Ed was made to talk using peanut butter in his mouth was not true, and that they just trained the horse to talk, but they kept the peanut butter story out there because it was like a cute thing for kids to hear. But I wish they would have just not had him move his mouth at all and just had the voice come out of him, because it's very creepy. It turns out that this is a program about a man's codependent relationship with his talking horse. Wilbur is unhealthily emotionally attached to Ed. He describes him as someone who loves me for who I am. and either he has put his office in Ed's barn, or he has built his house in such a way that Ed has like barn doors into his office. The plot of this episode is not really about a horse-turnaut. Most of it is about Wilbur's architect office politics. And the big conflict comes from, like, his boss wants him to move into an office downtown, but, like, he's like, I need to work in the office where I can talk to Ed, or else I won't be able to do my work, because I am codependent on my talking horse. Ed gives very, like, a needy, insecure boyfriend. Like, he's always, like, bothering Wilbur to hang out with him and, like, play chess with him. and Wilbur's torn between his career and his horse life partner. like his boss comes to his house and he's like, don't you find that horse a little disturbing? Like, I find the horse a little disturbing. And then when he's in the new office with, like, his new secretary, he has, like, these pictures on his desk, like, equally sized large pictures of his wife and Ed, and he, like, romantically picks up the picture of Ed and gazes at it, and then, like, his secretary, like, interrupts him, and he looks up at his secretary, and he hallucinates an image of Ed over her face, and then, like, reaches out to caress his horse face, and she's like, hey, why'd you touch me? Like, but literally, it's such a boring show. It takes 17 minutes of a 25-minute episode to get to the space horse. Ed goes to the, like, NASA military base 17 minutes in, and I was like, oh, they're not even going to put the horse in a space outfit. They're not even going to put, but they did, luckily. It looked uncomfortable, it looked bad for the horse, it looked like maybe he couldn't breathe, which was sad, but, they put human boots on that horse in his space outfit. Human feet boots on that horse in his space outfit. And then Wilbur tries to enter the military base by telling the guard, I need my horse back to play chess with him. Luckily that doesn't work, but then the main plot is resolved in a throwaway line anyway, and I don't know. So it's supposed to be like a kid show, I'm assuming, because the talking animal main character, but 90% of the plot is like real, like the boringest episode of I Love Lucy, where like it's just 60s office and neighborhood household politics. All the characters are boring adults that just wear suits. Where's the space horse? Bring me the space horse. If I go into an episode called The Horstronaut, I expect to see a goddamn horstronaut, okay? Not for one shot for 30 seconds at the end. But mostly my experience of watching Mr. Ed made me realize that the Monkees was like 60s Coco Melon. Because it like everything else on TV up to that point must have been like so like understimulating compared to like the assault on the senses that is a typical Monkees episode and typical Monkees plot line. So I did actually learn something from watching Mr. Ed. So it was all worth it. Okay, and that's gonna really do it for the episode. Okay, bye. Okay, just kidding. We're not done. Mom wants to tell her own 1-minute short story about Mr. Ed. Go ahead, Mom.
The kids, we had a video for the kids, a VCR tape.
For me and my brother.
Yeah, for them, of Babe. And they would watch this videotape, and my husband and I, it would end, and they would show a clip of Mr. Ed, and they would try to sell you Mr. Ed videos. And we would say every single time, if you like the show about a talking pig, surely you would like the show about a talking horse.
So did like the same company own the rights or something?
Well, I don't know. I don't like the videotapes in the 80s and 90s were just crazy.
What was the origin of Babe? Was that another TV show from the 60s?
Babe was a book.
Okay.
And I think Babe was a book, yes, and then there was a movie. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it was just a movie.
And Mr. Ed was born from the diseased mind of a TV executive.
Yes, that was just TV.
So, yes.
That's it.
All right, that's it for real.
Bye.
Bye. We hope you enjoyed that episode of The Monkees Pod. You can follow us on Instagram and the website formerly known as Twitter at MonkeesPod. Nay! Nay! Does that sound like a real horse? Could I play Mr. Ed's daughter in a Legacy sequel? Miss Ed. Bye.